Peace. It's Thinking Man's Templar, where we say one red pill life far outweighs a million blue pill lives, and where all the soldiers can come in from the war, remove their armor, drop their swords for a change, and have conversations with like-minded men. And indeed, gentlemen, I am at your service. I want to thank all the new subscribers, all the gentlemen who left comments, anyone who's donated. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're loving the content. This is a great thing that we're trying to do for each other. And some of you guys dropped great comments, a lot of wisdom. And the community is growing, and I'm happy to see it every day. Shout out to C Boogie, who's dropped a couple of heaters. Shout out to Truth As I Know It, who's been consistently killing it with very deep and insightful videos. I want you guys to go over there and check these brothers out. C Boogie Productions, Truth As I Know It. I'll try to get the links in the description. Go ahead and support these brothers. These brothers are speaking real truth. If you're not already familiar, I know that Truth As I Know It doesn't have a very large subscriber count, which is a shame. More people should be listening to what he has to say. He's very consistent. He edits very nicely. He has great topics of discussion, and he's spot on with his understanding of what the red pill game is, especially just dealing with the matriarchy and the mental handicap of growing up and men realizing the matriarchy is not for them. All right, now, thanks for everybody commenting on the last video about black culture and women and their femininity, and just any video that you found interesting and you decided to show some love. I'm showing the love back to you. Of course, appreciate you for even listening. Now, let's get to the topic of discussion. Today's topic is today I want to talk about the succubi, or the ABW, and her tendency or her lust for over-dating. Over-dating. Her lust to over-date with no purpose, no end game, to push the envelope way too far, to stay on the field way past her prime, and not leave at the top of the height of her beauty, SMV, anything you want to call it in the red pill community. What we notice is that a lot of black women love dating. They love the idea of having multiple men in their phones, on their social media. They love to constantly be going out. They're always talking about their dating. You get with a woman, and how many countless stories they're telling you about men they've dated in the past. I've dated a guy with a motorcycle. I've dated a guy who did this. I've dated a guy in jail. I've dated a man with children. Just over dating. Just dating, and not many relationships. Black women have way more dating experience than they have with relationships, and they wonder why they don't have solid foundation in their relationship lives. It's because they spend most of their time just dating, just playing games, just sleeping with guys that they like temporarily, and then moving on to the next man. Dating is for you to go and find the guy that you like, and then move into a level where you move into a relationship and you build into something like a family. But we know that black women tend to do it backwards. They love to have the kids first and the family second. So already right there, their dating has been conflicted by their children. And they often get mad when black men date interracially. And the only reason they get really upset is because they know that women of other races tend not to overdate. They know how to screen men and vet men, and then usually they pick somebody and they sit their ass down. And usually when black women see that white women or Asian women or Latino women or Middle Eastern or even African women. Their culture is not matriarchal, and they know that. Matriarchal culture teaches women to overdate, to never find the qualities that are required for the right reasons. You understand? The qualities in a man, you look and say, okay, he's a nice man, he treats me nice, he's resourceful, he has husband material, he has father material, he's intelligent, he has wisdom, he's respectful, people respect him, he's likable, whatever the case may be. All of these things, he's industrious, I can learn a lot from him. All of these things that other women find and then begin to exit the dating game and into the relationship game. They tend to cling on these men. And now, if these men are black men, they may have even more of a tendency to go from dating to relationship. See, black women, they find these men and they never close the deal. You understand? Black women will date a great man, but never get in a relationship with him. Because black women want the ease of the sexual relationship. She wants the ease of the dating relationship where a man has no say in what she does. He can't question her motives or her activities with other men because they're just dating. How many times, gentlemen, have you dealt with a woman and she showed signs of dealing with other men, and then what she gave you the excuse? We're just dating. We're just dating. And dating is just a short-term term for sleeping with someone. That's it. So black women use these ribbon words to try to throw you off the scent, when really their dating is just them sleeping around, dealing with this guy. Dating could be a guy that doesn't take them anywhere. See, in your mind, you believe that dating is going out, going to dinner, having a drink, sitting down and have a conversation. When black women, dating is so skewed that they consider dating men that they're just sleeping with. A man that just comes through and has sex with them. How many black women have you dealt with that spoke so casually about just sleeping with a man? Oh, we're just having sex. We were just having sex. I was just having sex with him. He wasn't nothing. We weren't serious. We were just having sex. Sex has no bearing on them, no seriousness. It's just an activity like doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, riding a bike, doing jumping jacks. They date. They're serial monogamous, monogamous daters. They never settle down. They wouldn't date. Think about the average woman's dating life. They start dating when they're young, which is not normal. They shouldn't be dating till at least over 18, at least 21, in that range. But these girls, being that they're in the matriarchy, they have freedom to sow their royal sexual oats young. So they're already dating and having sex at 14, 15, 13, even younger than that in some cases. And their dating life goes, you think the average woman is dating a man for 2 to 3 months, 6 months before she casts him away for probably the most smallest issue. Whatever it may be. We know that they don't like nice men and genuine men and good-hearted men and men that don't have a criminal background or don't aspire to be street. Even if they are from the street, they're not street enough. So we know that women discard men for frivolous reasons, and they go through their dating life. Think about it. If average relationship is 3 to 6 months, right? 3 to 6 months, maybe a couple dudes she dated with longer. 3 to 6 months. And she's intimate with all these men, maybe a couple she wasn't intimate with, but she's discarding these men left and right. From the age of 15 to 30. Bare minimum 2 men a year. And these women can't be by themselves. So 2 men a year. They're constantly rotating men. They got men on their phone they're talking to, men on social media they're talking to, men on dating sites they're talking to. So they constantly have your replacement waiting. They're constantly replacing, they're constantly ghosting, they're constantly monkey branching. So you figure at 30, she's probably dated at the bare minimum 30 men. 15 to 30 is 15, so 2 men a year, that's 30 men. And that right there is a liberal number. She probably slept with 20 of them, 25 of them. So then you figure if you want to get real, she's dating multiple men. So then bare minimum at 30, the average woman has probably slept with 30 dudes. Bare minimum. So then you want to think that over that number, if she's dealing with her friends with benefits, dudes that she just slept, dudes in relationships, all the men that don't have a title that she fucked. Now you're going up into the 40, 50, 60 range, 70 range. No relationships, couple of kids, but no secure men. And then they get mad when these men are scooped up by women who are culturally trained to seek out certain traits in men and act on it. To act on it. To get clingy. To want to be with them. To put their best foot forward. See, what the succubi does, she gets with the best men in her group and she gets lazy. She gets complacent because she feels like, you know, she owns you anyway. Just like C Boogie loves to say. She owns you. She has first dibs. She has right to refusal. So she can meet these great men who are in college for engineering, training for something, great minds, wise, hustle, all of these things. And she can still find something wrong with these men and cast these men away to these white women who see the value in them, to these Asian women who see the value in them, to these African women, to these Caribbean women, to all of these other women that will see the value in the men that you discarded because of your lust for dating, your lust for the freedom of switching men out. No serious commitments, nothing serious, no emotional ties, no emotional bonds, just spiritual ties and semen build up in your sexual orifices. You understand? These women love the freedom of dating, so they overdate. Black women love to date too long. You're dating too long. You're dating way past 25. The average woman has had enough opportunity to find a good man by 25. By 30, she's definitely turned down many great men. By 35, you can assume she doesn't even want a good man. She just wants a cleanup man. I know this is a repetitive subject. I know this is things we love to say, but understand black women love to overdate. They're like the jaded athlete that doesn't know when to retire. They don't know when their time's up. They don't know when to throw in the towel. And then they end up tarnishing their career. They're like Roy Jones at the end of his career. He didn't know when to take his championship and take his accolades and his respect and walk out the game once he lost a step or two. No, he kept pushing it, and now his reputation is tarnished. He'll always be known as a great fighter, but what about those 5 or 6 years where Roy Jones was just getting knocked out by nobodies because he didn't know how to get out the ring? And that's how black women are. They're getting knocked off by nobodies in their 30s and 40s and in their 50s because they squandered the idea of dealing with the men who are about something. They rejected the best men in their group when they had the best opportunity to obtain these men because they wanted to overdate, because it's just a little game to them. It's power. The ability to have all these men wanting and trying to vie for your attention when you have all of these men playing different roles in your life, wasting time. You don't see that, and these women don't get it, but we do. Unfortunately, we know what you've been doing in the wee hours. These women are no short of sexual partners. Just like we always say, they're having more sex than you, black man. She's getting sexed out. And the question was always, who's more sexual, men or women? We've answered that question. Women are by far more sexual than men or women. Women are by far more sexual than men, especially black women. By far more sexual than you. She has to have someone to sleep with all the time. And usually she has someone to sleep with all the time. Whether it's once a week, twice a week, she always has some casual dude that she can sleep with, even when she's dating, even when she's in serious so-called committed relationships. She always has someone that she can go to for sex, for new sex, quick sex, with no strings attached, just someone she can call, hey, let's meet up, and they come over and they don't say anything. They just get naked, have a drink, smoke a blunt, he knocks it out the park, and he's out before you get home. And then you wonder why she doesn't want sex. She's never in the mood. She has a headache. She's like, oh, not tonight, I just don't feel like it. Because that pussy's been beat up already. It's been slammed all day while you was at work. All day while she was claiming to be running errands. She's been getting her back blown out all day. So when she gets with you, oh, I'm not in the mood, I'm tired, I don't feel well. Dudes better wake up. These women love to overdate. So I suggest don't date them. Just deal with them. Be the guy that's getting the sex. Don't be the guy that's paying for the dinners. Don't even be the guy that's hanging out at a crib long. Don't even be that guy. Because the guy who gets the best out of her is the guy who's just getting the sex. Because they love to overdate. And they get mad because other women have a culture when they know their expiration date and they know that they need to stop dating and get serious. So don't get mad when white women and Asian women and African women and Middle Eastern women and Latino women are snatching all the men and getting on TV and getting marriage proposals and getting in families and having children and coming into the restaurants you're in with your homegirls while y'all all sitting at the movies 3-4 deep, while y'all at the bar 4 or 5 deep with no man, while y'all at the restaurant eating dinner, having drinks with just your girls, all single, and you see the black man come in with the Asian girl, and you get mad. You see the black man come in with the Middle Eastern girl or the Latin girl, and they got kids, and they look happy. Don't get mad. Get glad. Like my brother Ringo would say, don't be mad, get glad. Because someone's trying to tell you the truth. You overdate. Something that should be used for your teenage years and your early 20s, you run it way into your 40s. Way into your 50s. And you know what's something else I noticed being a truck driver? I go to these like warehouses and I go to Costco's and I go to all these places that's like, you know, warehouses where people doing, you know, freight and shit like that. And I see all of these women in these warehouses using forklifts and pallet jacks, working in refrigerated cold storage with bubble jackets on at 4 or 5 in the morning, doing all this hard work in these shitty environments, lifting boxes, piling up pallet jacks, piling up pallets, using forklifts, working in these shipping areas. Why? It's like, is that what feminism got you? Is that what you wanted? You did all that crying and screaming to be equal, and then you're just working in a warehouse. If you're not a woman making 6 figures, you should be home being a wife. I don't understand why you want to be in a warehouse. All of these women, some of them were attractive, most of them were burly, masculine. Like, is this what you wanted? You didn't want to sit home with some kids for this? I sit there and I laugh to myself. I said, look at all these women unloading my truck. It's women on a pallet jack unloading my truck while I'm sitting there playing on my phone. While I'm listening to music and listening to Red Pill content, I'm sitting in here while they're unloading my truck watching them. Sitting in the truck as they're pulling loads out the back. Hot as hell, cold ass freezers. When I do refrigerated loads, taking cold in a cold ass facility that's the temperature is set to be cold, like a winter. They're in there with bubble jackets and gloves and ski hats in the summertime when it's really 75 degrees outside, but you have to work in that environment. You'd rather do that than go be somebody's husband. Go sit home and make sure your kids are educated and not in the street. And they don't have to go to regular school. They can get homeschooled by you. You'd rather sit in someone's shitty ass warehouse than do that. And you know why those women are there? Because they overdated. They didn't know how to get out the game. They didn't know how to get the good dudes that don't want their woman to work, that want the authority in their home. And it's like, yo, just take care of the kids. I got money. I'm doing fine. These dudes get money. They don't need you to work, especially once you have kids. Stay your ass home and raise these motherfuckers. But you want to work. You want to sit in somebody's office making 30 grand a year, but still act like you better than brothers that's making way more than that. But them dudes date you, and you're the one passing judgment. You're the one that's got your nose up, finding shit wrong with them. It's corny. He's not fun. He's never been to jail. So you overdate. You go to the next guy. And then they actually get the guys they want, and they complain because they're getting violated. They're getting their ass whooped. They're getting left with kids. They're getting STDs. Oh, you got to take a visit to the jail to go visit your boyfriend? Oh, how sweet. How sweet for Valentine's Day. Oh. You got to send your boyfriend $100 for his books? Yeah, I know your type. You want to overdate. You want to keep playing the game. And then you keep playing the game. And what happens? The game eventually ends up playing you, sweetheart. This is Thinking Man's Templar. Go ahead and like the video. This is a quick one. Just had this on my mind. Was inspired by some great videos I've been watching the last couple of days. I've just been kind of thinking on this. And then when I went to deliver these loads yesterday, I was just kind of laughing. It was funny to me. It's funny to see these women doing these shitty ass jobs in the sake of feminism. While it was literally women. Check this out. It was literally women pulling pallets of merchandise, unloading my truck, you know, going through stuff and scanning shit. And you know who's the guy who's doing the paperwork? It's a dude. It's a guy doing paperwork, sitting in a chair while they out here on forklifts and doing hard labor. Ain't that some shit? See how the game eventually ends up playing you? Shit is crazy. And it's hilarious. You can say thank you to feminism for that, ladies. Make sure when you go out and march that you thank feminism for your miserable lives. Your miserable, boring, overworked, undersexed, underloved, just appreciate it. Because you asked for it when you got 35. When you got 35, 40, you asked for it. And now you get to go on Facebook and get to go on Instagram and look at all the men that you dated, get married, and have children, and be happy. While you're at home, or you're at work, sitting in a call center, sitting being a security guard. And I noticed they're all security guards now too. Everywhere I go, security, succubi coming out. Head full of weave, overweight, tattoos, security. Y'all, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted to work overnight in a security booth. You wanted to do this. You didn't want the man. You didn't want to be the wife. So this is what you get. Now you get to work in the warehouse. Now you get to work in the security booth. In the rain, in the winter. Now you get to work in the call center. Non-stop, on the phone, getting cursed out by people. That's what you wanted. Now you got it. Don't complain. The only reason the women, you see women like that, are women that overdated. They didn't know how to find a good man and sit their monkey ass down somewhere. Hold that L. Hold it. Hold that L to your chest. Hold it to your chest, then hold it to your forehead, then put it back on your chest, then put it back on your forehead, and do the hokey pokey. And turn yourself around. Because that's how L's get passed down. Straight up. Hold that L. Nobody cares anymore. There's no sympathy for you anymore. Nobody wants to hear about your issues and your work harassment. Nobody cares. Sooner or later, men are going to stop working at these places. I literally see more female security guards than I see men. Literally. Men are going to start going back to school. Men are going to start getting their trades. And men are going to leave you alone in these warehouses. Men are going to leave you alone at these security booths and these call centers. There ain't going to be no men around. Because men are going to be trying to get so far away from you and get out of your circumference so they can be comfortable and be at peace while they make their money, that you're going to be left alone to unload those boxes. Because I'll be looking at the back of the truck and there'll be some heavy ass shit in my truck. I'll be toting like 40,000, 42,000 pounds. And I'm looking at a group of 2 women unloading 42,000 pounds out the back of my truck. Taking forever. It's just like, yo, this is what you wanted. While you doing that, I'm going to go to the vending machine, get a Gatorade. I'm going to have a seat. I'm going to watch some videos on my phone. And I'm literally going to watch you unload my truck. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to sit in the back of my cab and take a nap. I'm going to sit there and take a nap while you bumping around in the back of the trailer. It's hilarious when you go to these places. It's hilarious. While you sitting there in a bullshit ass security booth and it's raining and you fucking got to come out in the rain and take my ID, I'm going to laugh. You working overnight. I'm about to go home. Damn. Have fun, ladies. Have fun. You asked for it. This is Thinking Man's Templar. I want to thank you guys for listening. Donate, subscribe, share, show your love in the comments. I want to hear your opinion about these overdaters. Later, man. I just want to keep it light. Just had this on my mind. Y'all brothers be safe.